All right, we're back. Um, let's see. All right, getting triage on Zenyatta. By the way, got his first day watermelon's been somewhat back. Like, you can always get it year round, but it's just really bad in the winter. This one's still a little wintry, but it's nice to have it back. Decent, good Zen rotation. So I can't see who your orb is on, but I would have definitely had it parked on the tank. Make sure we're doing that. I mean, Cass is a good one for right there. Okay. But Cass is the one in the front line. A good charge, then corner. I wonder if we see that turret he just got up there. Now, with Discord, you should be able to see through walls, not just because I'm in the replay, but in game, you can see the little orb through walls to see where your target went. And that should help you line up some of these targets in a poke battle. Good call. And then I can't tell if you're trying to tank it or not, but Zen can't. You can still get one shot through a Zen trance, but Zen himself is immortal during trance, so trying to like body block that is really good. Oops, moth. You got your friendly orb, but you have your damage orb. Not quite. So, when you're going against Reinhardt's, getting the Discord up is really valuable. And you want to wait for a fire strike, just like that. You get... Uh-oh. And that's just a free trip back to spawn. Yep. But you want to wait for the fire strike, and when he gets stuck in that animation, he can't shield against it. And so, wait for a fire strike or a charge... Or honestly, even an Earth Shatter. It's not the best. You want to try to finish him off in an Earth Shatter. But if you know you can't finish him off, at least get the Discord up. And as long as you're alive, that's going to help. That's going to make him play a little safer. It's a big old tree. So yeah, it's right there. There's a lot of left click spamming. Even though it's a very active team fight, that shield was still very up and active. I would have just held that down and try to get it and try to finish off a click. Because when you're just putting in the chip damage, that also means that the healers are just getting chip healing, and it's easy for both teams. Whereas if you charge it up and delete and get some headshots, they have to play differently. Good takeout on that. Bastion. Oh, hit scan projectile life. Good sightline. Okay, I hear that Reinhardt on the top left. I mean, yes, I can see him through the walls because it's a replay, but I could hear him as well. If there's a Reinhardt by himself, you don't want to needlessly take a 1v1 against a tank, but that's a more advantageous one that you can pull. That's a nifty little interaction. Okay, so we got this lineup. Turning and running with Zenyatta. And honestly, it's one thing that he has a lot in common with Ana, is getting used to learning the map backwards. Ashe is really good for this too, where she should be looking forward at her target, but has to coach gun backwards. So it's getting kind of used to kiting, walking, shooting, kiting, walking. Oof. So we got 4 more minutes, and we want to see how we get through this choke. Okay, this is a good spot for left spam, just to get that. Oh, he should have got on that flower. Oh, that's a fun one. Okay, and okay, that's another good spot to left spam, just because you're stuck in the thick of it and there's no incoming healing. Interesting. Trance, I mean, it works. You're doing with Bastion. Double support ult is less than ideal, and that tree doesn't really heal a lot. It's basically a giant Maywall, okay, or like a super Maywall that does pulses of healing. It roughly heals. I think it's twice as much. It's like a Lucio Brig combined. So like over time, it does add up, but in terms of high impact sustain, not very much. Oh, wow. I'm thoroughly curious now. Uh-oh, come on. How does... Okay, so some good diva play from Moth. Harassing Tracer. Still a 3v2. How are they... Wow. That'll do it. Okay, back on Zen. This is one where right clicks would be better, because Kiriko's just feeding off of that. Good shots from King. Now some left click pressure. Alrighty. Let's get back to our Zen suspect here. Got the healing orb up. You want to get that damage orb as soon as you can. Nice. Now Ryan's going to be your primary target for this. But if he's playing smart and this Boa is playing all kinds of forward, discord the first one you see. It's better to have it on a lower priority target than not have it up at all. Oh, you stepped into it. Now, admittedly, fire strikes are the size of boulders, but... Body block for your... Oh, can't body block the Bastion, I guess. The Bastion ult, that is. You got your damage orb up. You have your healing orb up. There you go. You got a critical teammate back here who could also really use it. And now he's down. That one right. That was a healing mistake. It's quick play. We're learning. Good mech drop, Moth. Okay. Mercy Zen. Everyone's like, it's not enough healing. It's too low. Highly underrated. It's too low if your only skill set involves running face first into the enemy. Ooh. Nifty Tracer work. Steak him, heal him. Oh, right clicked. Another mech drop. Okay. And that'll do it. Good job. So, orb priorities. For healing orb, you want to put your orb on the teammate who is in the most risk of dying, doesn't mean critical, but at the most risk of dying. Um, and then your second priority behind that is if no one's at a real high risk of dying, you want on the person who's most likely to take chip damage, like little Junkrat spam, a little bump from the end of a rocket somewhere. That way, because the orb is very slow, but you can just get that sustained healing without having to think about changing your orb all too often. At most risk of dying, that means usually on the tank, and they take the most damage, which gives you the most time to get healing in. But at the same time, tracers get a lot of value out of it. Genjis get a lot of value out of it. Echoes and Pharahs can, especially if you have a aim-based character that as your other healer. If all you have to do is look at the Pharah and hit Harmony Orb, that's much easier than an Ana trying to track them. Now, a good Ana should be able to track them, but not as easy. But like, what if you have a BAP? Those are a lot harder to... Oh, I'm sorry, my eyelashes are misbehaving right now. So, using your Harmony Orb on folks that are most in risk of dying. I can't be too harsh on that miss on the Cassidy because they're in the back line. They're not as at risk of dying as the tank or the tracer was as they went deeper into the back line. That said, you generally want to pair Zen with a direct healer. So, Mercy can work, Moira, BAP, Ana. I wouldn't pair him with Zen or Lucio unless you're building a strat around that and everyone realizes, hey, the healing's going to be weird. It's very workable. It's goats was a thing, but it's not a typical strategy. So yeah, keeping your Harmony Orbs up at all times, and then calling line of sight whenever it breaks long enough that your orb drops and comes back. Same thing with your Discord orbs. If you can Discord either the tank or a priority target and then ping them while you're at it, that tells your team, hey, this person's easier to kill. But even if you don't get a tank or a priority target, just get it on somebody and just get used to having both those orbs up with the little interface down here. The next one would be your left click versus right click usage. Default towards right clicks. There are a couple cases where left clicks are useful. If you're at 97% of your ult and you need one headshot to get your ult before you know that the Reaper has Blossom coming in, that makes sense. Or if you have a low health target where hitting 2 left clicked body shots is better than taking a right click and possibly missing all of them. So that would be a time. Or I think of other opportunities that are better left click than right click. If there's a time frame that you're looking for, so like Baptiste window, if you've been putting right clicks through it and you just realize, it's about to run out and just get the last couple ones in there, that's really useful too. But yeah, more times than not, you want to do right clicks. Those are the two big ones, really. Trance usage was decent. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good, but then again, even great Zenyatta players don't find great trances every game, just because of how Zenyatta's trance usage is very reliant on how the other team plays, not necessarily how you or your team play. But I hope it's useful.